Are you unsure about getting into isekai? Are you already familiar with it and don't know whether you want to jump into the madness of portal fantasy? Are you scared of starting an isekai show because it shows main characters who have unlimited power, where their most degenerate fantasies come to life and there are no moral consequences to their actions? Well, fear no more. I've got the perfect isekai, the best one in fact. And you're probably thinking, why? What makes this one so special to other isekais? Well, allow me to elucidate. One thing that makes it stand out above all other isekais is its main character. Yes, he is flawed and deeply perverted. Yes, he did marry a 16-year-old when he was actually 50 years old, but reincarnated as a 16-year-old, and yes, he did also sleep with a 15-year-old, but he was in his 13-year-old reincarnated body, making him younger, which I guess is okay, as opposed to facing the reality that he is actually 46 years old. Is anyone still interested in this show? Wait, hear me out. You're gonna miss the part where he sniffed his mother's panties. Okay, all of these things are true, but just hear me out, if you're still watching this. I didn't explain myself correctly. I didn't justify why he married a 16-year-old and instantly got her pregnant. Oh, for God's sake, not again. Rudius is a man who matures and learns from his flaws. The journey is one of redemption. The characters all have flaws and are trying to be better people. There is romance, there is comedy, there is action, there is everything. The world building has been stellar, from the Asura kingdom to the demon continent. The world of Mushoku Tensei offers an incredible mix of sorcery, politics, religion, and racism, which is profoundly mature. And this second season builds from that greatly established arc of season 1. The show has this amazing ability to transform characters from shallow, loathsome degenerates to ones of empathy, kindness, and selflessness. Rudius undergoes a whirlwind of emotions in this new season, and I don't think he makes it out of this season if not for the characters he is surrounded by. And it's these characters who inspire Rudius to help others in his condition. Rudius is depressed, he believes he has lost everyone. He finds hope when Sarah thanks him for rescuing her, but even then something inside of him is still eating away. He goes through a lot of emotions from the start of the season. I mean a lot, and it gets dark pretty quick. His past life plays a huge role in controlling his inner feelings. What's great about Mushoku Tensei is how they actually use the main character's past life as a plot device to improve and develop himself as a better human being in the new life. He is powerful, has a family who he feels a connection with, but those traumatic moments of being bullied and acting distant still impacts Rudius. Even though he is now in a world where he is pretty much envied and respected by everyone, it's not enough to cure the pain that he feels inside. Sometimes that pain never goes away in life, but if you are surrounded by good people and listen to them, then that pain can be managed and treated with hope and happiness. And one big lesson Rudius learns in this new world is to not ignore and shut out people when he is depressed. He doesn't give up on people who feel depressed either. Like their life is worthless, he finds a way to connect with them. And that's why I think this show really needs to be discussed more. It's tackling important issues on mental health that are disturbing, highly personal but essential to understand, because it highlights insecurity in a realistic way. And the truth is, everyone in life is insecure in some shape or form. Mushoku Tensei doesn't shy away from this. The show is incredibly endearing because it challenges all the conventions of typical stereotypes. It's on another level. It reveals all the flaws of being human and tackles these issues with such profoundness and intellectual grace.
But even more importantly,
I got a boner.
Well, for the most part at least. I mean, we just saw a whole arc dedicated to Rudius' impotency. Now, if you told me that that was the premise for the arc, I would go into this with much skepticism. But you know what? It made the story so much better. It wasn't crude, it wasn't gross, it was just brutally honest. Impotency is a really sensitive subject matter and they portrayed it in a fantasy setting that actually worked and developed the main character. This season may have felt quite slow for many. For me, it was quite enjoyable and honestly my favourite arc of the season. Yes, I enjoyed it more than the adventure of them searching for Rudius' mother and the tragic event that unfolded. Rudius is enrolled onto the Renoa Magic Academy. He reunites with Zanaba, who was a completely changed character as the season progressed. It was truly refreshing to see someone equally perverted and changed into someone honourable and selfless. Sure, there was some weird pervy stuff with the fairy beasts, but the main reason I loved this arc was the love story between Rudius and Sylvie. Now to give you context, I absolutely adored their story from season 1. It helped add more weight to their burn-going romance, which they really teased in every episode and built up to a really heartwarming and satisfying moment that summed up the show. Their love reflected the beauty of this world. And can we talk about what an amazing character Sylvie is? She is just too perfect. If there were more people like her, the world would be a far greater place to live in. When they finally got together, there was a sense of peace and pure bliss that you very rarely witness. I was so caught up in their rudimentary lives it just felt like I was looking into their private lives. It was too good that it all felt like a dream, and I wouldn't have minded if the whole season finished this way. Building a family can create a lot of drama. It was these slice-of-life moments focusing on intimate romance and kindness from supporting characters that made this season shine. Sylvie made Rudius a better person, and it inspired Rudius to do right and help people around him like Nanahoshi, who was struggling with depression because she couldn't find a way back to Earth. Rudius' journey in reconciling his past and present relationships is a complex and poignant exploration of growth and redemption. His previous life, marked by regrets and missed opportunities, weighs heavily on his conscience as he navigates his new life in a world of magic and family ties. The pivotal moment where Rudius hits his father, Paul, serves as a catalyst for the strained relationship with his sister, Norn. This incident not only shattered their familial bonds but also left Rudius grappling with guilt and remorse. In Norn, he sees reflections of his own past self, someone who is flawed, impulsive, and prone to hurting those closest to him. Driven by a desire to mend the fractured relationships in his current life, Rudius begins a journey of introspection and self-improvement. He draws upon the lessons from his previous life, where he failed to cherish familial ties and nurture meaningful connections. His experiences in this new world teach him the value of empathy, forgiveness, and second chances. As Rudius strives to bridge the gap with Norn, he becomes acutely aware of another unresolved regret: his strained relationship with his brother in Japan. Memories of neglect and misunderstandings haunt him, prompting a parallel effort to seek reconciliation across dimensions. Through these parallel journeys, Rudius confronts the consequences of his past actions and endeavours to make amends, not only for his sake but also for the sake of those he loves. The process is not without its challenges. Rudius must navigate misunderstandings, confront deep-seated emotions, and earn the trust and forgiveness of those he has wronged. His growth is gradual but transformative, shaped by his determination to break free from the shadows of his past and forge meaningful connections in his present life. Ultimately, Rudius' journey is a testament to the power of redemption and the resilience of the human spirit. It underscores the importance of introspection, forgiveness, and the courage to confront one's mistakes in order to build a brighter future, both for himself and those he holds dear. Alright, let's get to the point of the show where things take a left turn. I'm talking a sharp skid mark turn from which you cannot survive, because everything this season gave us in terms of Rudius' character development, an arc that made him a better person, is borderline thrown out of the window. This whole season was so beautifully written. The slow, slice-of-life pacing made me fall in love with this world more than I already was. Yes, Rudius as a character is flawed, which is what makes him great. I don't agree with his perversions, and I like that the show makes him this way, because you set him on this journey where he learns to be a better person and treat people in a more gentleman-like manner. Him making poor decisions, facing the consequences, and learning from them is what makes this show so unique. However, episode 23 is where things get complicated and difficult to accept the way this narrative is progressing towards. Rudius breaks his promise of faithfulness to Sylvie by giving in to Roxy. Now in this moment, I was shouting at Rudius to say that he is married and is expecting a child, because Rudius is not that type of guy anymore. He kept on going about how his dad was a scumbag having multiple wives and acting degenerate among women. Now it turns out he's just like him. And then it gets worse when we realise that Roxy went ahead with it anyway, knowing the truth, so they're both in the wrong. And then it gets even worse when we see that Sylvie's own grandmother, Elena Lee, said it was her idea to get Rudius and Roxy married and have a polygamous relationship. It was difficult for me to digest this. Rudius wasn't perfect. He is essentially a pervert, but he showed great signs of improvement this season. Sylvie was the perfect remedy to cure him of these urges, but at the same time, it's this conflict that makes Mushoku Tensei so intriguing. And it's a reflection of life. You make great strides to become better, but there are still times where you make great mistakes. So in a way, it wasn't really surprising in Rudius' character, no matter how frustrating it was for me, that he would do something stupid. However, what I did have a problem with was how there were pretty much no consequences for his actions. Apart from a rant from his sister Norn, which appeared to be resolved pretty damn quickly, there was no pushback that would throw Rudius' life upside down. In fact, it made his life better. I am only familiar with this world through the anime and not the light novel. I do not know if polygamy is a more accepted practice among the creatures of this world, But even so, Rudius promised that he would be faithful to Sylphie and take no other wife. Even though Sylphie expected that he would and said she wouldn't mind, and it kind of annoyed me that Sylphie wasn't hurt by this. I mean, how can you love someone knowing that they would cheat on you and promise that they wouldn't, and then just accept that you have to share him with another wife? Look, maybe in the future this conflict still remains intact with the characters. Maybe Sylphie begins to grow jealous, although I highly doubt this. This particular part of the story just feels forced to add to the fantasy of having multiple wives and living as one harmonious family. I struggle to see the appeal here. Perhaps this is just me and my perspective of living in a world where a monogamous relationship is far more common and feels like the quintessential portrayal of what love means. The way this was all wrapped up in just 2 episodes felt a bit rushed and was kind of rubbing me the wrong way because Rudius had managed to come out of this unscathed, and that's not really a great moral lesson. But in spite of all of this, I still thoroughly enjoyed this season, and it remains one of the best anime I have seen. My problems with the last couple of episodes show how strongly I feel about this story. The standard I have set for this show is very high. Mushoku Tensei stands out in the crowded realm of isekai not just for its fantastical elements, but for its profound exploration of human flaws and growth. At its core, the series offers more than just escapism. It delves into complex themes of redemption, mental health, and the intricacies of relationships. The show's ability to blend high-stakes drama and heartfelt slice-of-life moments is a testament to its storytelling prowess. It navigates themes of love, betrayal, and forgiveness with sensitivity, challenging viewers to confront their own beliefs about morality and relationships. Mushoku Tensei is more than just a fantasy adventure. It's a narrative that explores the complexities of human nature and the journey towards self-improvement. It reminds you what's important in life. It shows you not to linger on the depressing moments and focus on what's worth holding on to. Life is dark, so embrace the light.